All right, guys, welcome back to another episode here on the Dividend Doggo Show on YouTube, and I am going to bring you a look into the portfolio. Right now, we are sitting at about 581,000. We've got 127K currently in gains, 24,000 of that is dividends, and I'm going to bring you into the weekly view so we can see what was going on this week in the market. So it's looking a little negative. We earned some dividends that offset the market gain. These dividends will be paid out into next month. However, we ended up the week a little bit in the red. I'm sure that other people's portfolios were also in the red. Obviously, that really depends on what you're invested in. However, you can see VST had come up a little bit and kind of floated the portfolio, but across the portfolio, we have multiple sectors here that were in the red. So this week was kind of a bumpy week, and there was some news that basically forced the creation of quite a substantial jump into the Coma Money portfolio, which now has two stocks in it. These are basically high quality. I consider Berkshire Hathaway a fund. It's like a multi conglomerate company that houses tons of different companies inside of it, from Geico to See's Candy, which is probably my favorite candy shop, and many others that make up that company. They own a huge chunk of Apple. Um, it's just a phenomenal stock to hold, and I've wanted it for a while, so I went ahead and added it. And SCHD, you know that we're bringing this up pretty significantly. I think my goal is going to be to get it to about 250, maybe $300,000 over the next 2 to 3 years. Ideally, that would be amazing. So what happened in the market? Well, the primary thing I want to look at here is I did a major sell out of a stock that, I had been holding in the portfolio since I created it for dividends. And one of the big rules for me with my stocks is that if I'm going to hold you and you cut the dividend, and my main reason for holding you is the dividend, then you're not giving me raises as well. So I'm not really keen on holding it. So I did lose some overall income generation by selling out of AT&T. They had some major announcements today this week, that they were going to spin off Warner Media, which they paid a ton of money for that just a few years ago. They definitely haven't seen the value out of it. They're definitely losing money overall on the deal. While their books may look a little bit better with the debt reduction, they're losing one of the prime assets that I really enjoyed about the company, and one of the things that I believe it was a path for them to create more revenue over time. So I sold them. Almost instantly as soon as I could. So you can see I came out relatively ahead on this position. I did collect some dividends on it, and it had some capital appreciation. That was immediately rolled into the SCHD and Berkshire Hathaway positions. Now, I sold at 31.88. I sold 1,605 shares for a total value of $51,168.28. This was a huge position in this portfolio. It was right around 9%, and that has now gone and been diversified out among two very high quality stocks that generally give a return somewhere between 10 and 18% a year. So I'm happy holding those. Now, Berkshire Hathaway does not pay a dividend. However, I'm going to look at this as just a pure growth play. I'll hold it until I'm ready to retire, and maybe I'll transition it over. Or if it stops performing super well in the next decade, I will also transition it then, likely just right into SCHD or another high quality dividend stock like Home Depot, Lowe's, any of those that I'm really going after to build up in the future. Now, the big purchase for the week, I deposited $10,000 I moved it basically into my M1 spend account. It was sitting there earning 1%, and I decided to pull the trigger on buying a pretty hefty chunk of Home Depot. This Home Depot stock came in at $317.91, so right around 318, and got me 31 shares. I really love Home Depot. I don't think that the housing market is going to change much. I think that people are going to keep buying houses. We're going to keep expanding houses. Lumber costs are up really high right now. Uh, I think they're going to do very, very well over the next few years. And historically, they've done phenomenal. So I am going to be, they're in the consumer slice here. I'm going to be raising this up a bit more. I also want to get some more into Lowe's. They are pulling back a little bit more than Home Depot. So they are a little bit more attractive for me to throw money at over the next couple weeks. As you can see, the 1 week they went down 3%. So I may try to get about 20K in this position over the course of the next couple months. So that's my current tentative plan. I'm going to be rolling most of the dividends straight into SCHD and into the Como Money pie. I'm going to try to build this up to a very significant portion of the portfolio. Right now it's 11%. I'd like to get that somewhere up to about 80, and then any of the individual stocks that I'm throwing money into in the future, that's how they're kind of going to look. I do want to show one last thing. I'm going to keep this video relatively short and very sweet. The income chart from Propeller. So I wanted to show you this for a couple reasons. I was celebrating the fact that I was a little over $2,000 a month in forward income for the next 12 months. Now with the sale of AT&T, that obviously dropped this down from over 25,000 down to 23,000. Even with putting the majority of it into SCHD versus BRK, it doesn't really change my outlook. I still want to keep building this income up, but I do want to do it a little bit more diversified. Now, why is this number 1.1 million? Because this is the total taxable position that you're seeing here for the two accounts that we hold. My wife and I both hold these accounts. And basically, you can see the position that's paying out. It's 10 cent. We currently have about 7,073 shares, and that's going to be paying out in June, $1,456. So that's the primary position that is in the other portfolio. It was purely a growth portfolio, but they have been raising the dividends significantly over the past 3 years. So it's actually starting to amount to a pretty hefty sum of money, but it is only paid out once a year. They have done special dividends before in the holiday time, but I honestly would prefer them to not do special dividends. I would rather them do share buybacks or invest in buying other companies. Stakes in other companies would be phenomenal. As far as that goes, I do want to just kind of show you, this is the forward projection for June. June will be the largest dividend paying month that I have ever had, and I'm pretty excited about that. I will get a May video out here shortly because I don't really have a whole lot left to pay in May. We do have a couple positions that are going to be paying out. We've got BlackRock Science and Trust that's coming out. The Science Technology Trust that comes on May 28th, which is in just a few days, so like end of next week. I can't believe how fast May has flown by. I hope that you are all safe and well. I do appreciate everyone who is watching the video. Let me know down in the comments, did you hold T? Do you like the idea of them selling it off? I personally didn't. Most of the people that I know didn't. And most of the people that I know sold the stock almost immediately upon finding the news out that they were going to cut the dividend. Even if they don't cut it until next year, it's still, I just want to cut it, be done with it, and roll the money into another position. So as you can see here, the portfolio yield is significantly lower than the last few times that I've shown this, because does show the entire taxable account that we have right now. And I'm looking to build this hopefully up to about 2.5 to 3 million by the time we go to retire. We don't have a strict plan. We're ideally aiming for early 50s, somewhere between 50 and 53. We do also invest in 401k plans. We have multiple 401k plans, one for me, and my wife has two. So not all of our money is in the market, but we are trying to push to get a lot more money in the taxable position so that we can fire and retire whenever we want to and live comfortably anywhere in the United States that we want to live. I don't think we'll retire to a major city though. But anyway, I just wanted to give you this update. I hope that your week was very, very well, very pleasant, and I will see you all soon. Thank you very much for watching.